Nearly 100 years ago, John D. Spreckles began his love affair with San Diego upon his arrival in 1887. You see, Spreckles' mission was to uplift, inspire, and enrich the human heart through great performances of music. With over 150,000 visitors per year, it is arguably San Diego's #1 attraction. The Spreckles Organ Society already planning its centennial celebration extravaganza of lights and sound. Year 2001, entered Dr. Carol Williams, the first woman ever to be appointed Civic Organist in the United States. Today, we are here with Dr. Carol Williams. Here's my interview. Dr. Carol Williams, thank you very much for meeting with us today.
My pleasure.
Thanks for taking the time. Thank you. My gosh, I've got so much here. Let me just start off by reading some of the reviews worldwide. There were things that struck me about Carol's performance. One, the amount of time she took and the trouble she took to master the instrument and to perfect her own performance on it. Exceptional virtuoso, playing of the highest order. Brilliant. A performance of epic proportions. Yeah.
That's very nice.
What do you make of all that?
That's nice. It's nice when people write nice things.
It is nice.
It is nice, but sometimes you get the review that you don't want to talk about, unexpected. But,
sure.
But they happen.
Like this one? Let me start off by asking you about when you started playing. You started playing at the age of 5, and you could read music before you could read English.
I was sent to dance classes when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I remember being totally disinterested with the dancing, but I stood by the piano and just was glued to the music, and that was it. That was the start.
And you come from a whole family of musicians, yeah?
Yeah, my grandmother was an organist, my aunt played the organ, my father played the organ, my mother plays piano. But I was really the first one who did it as a, professional career, but the support from the family has been terrific.
I can imagine. Sounds like it's in your DNA.
Yes.
And tell me about the Royal Academy of Music. That was your first formal training.
Yeah, I've been doing piano and organ all the way through weekly lessons, and studying an exam system is very severe in England. And then I decided that I wanted to be a professional concert organist. I wasn't really encouraged to, because my piano teacher didn't think it would be a very secure career, but I was so determined. I just knew, like a horse with blinkers on, that's where I'm going. So I decided I wanted to go to Royal Academy of Music, and I went, and I absolutely hated school. The best day for me was my last. I was just so happy. But the Royal Academy of Music, I was with other people we were all the same. And it was a fantastic training place, right in the centre of London. Loads of concerts to go to. The training was very intense, and one of the best times of my life.
You were playing concerts at age 16?
Yeah, I actually was playing in performances a lot earlier, actually. As soon as I could play presentably, I was taken to events and, doing competitions and just taking part. I was very competitive. I think you have to be, if you're going to be a professional musician, you have to be out there wanting to take part. So I've been playing since I can remember, to be honest.
In the nearly 100 years that this organ has been here, there have been a total of 7 civic organists. You were the first female. In fact, when you arrived here in 2001, you were the first woman appointed as civic organist anywhere in the United States, and it happened right here in San Diego. Why do you think that is?
There's a tradition, and particularly in the organ world, that the organists were generally male because they would sing in the boys' choir. So you had to be a boy to sing. And I was never a boy, obviously, so I never sung in choirs. So less women, girls got into the organ world. But I somehow just knew I wanted to be in the organ world, mainly because my grandmother was a chapel organist, which was different. The whole system of chapels in Wales was very different from the Church of England.
How was it when you first came here?
Well, when I saw this job advertised in the press, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was just finished my doctorate in New York, and I really did not want to work in the world of the church. It just didn't really appeal to me. It's a very different musician's life. And I realized I just didn't feel comfortable in that world. And when I saw a position as a civic organist for this city of San Diego, playing weekly concerts, I thought, well, that is just everything I could really do and give my all to. And I applied. The application for this position was really, quite intensive. Loads of programs they wanted to see, and then, references and et cetera, et cetera. A huge package came through, and I sent it out, and I waited and waited and waited and waited, and I got a phone call to come out. They'd narrowed down 100 applicants to about 5, and we all did a live performance here on a Sunday afternoon.
Were you the only woman?
Yes. I actually wore the scarf.
It's your lucky scarf, boy.
And
let me rub some on me. We need good luck.
And I played the concert. I did my best. Even the organ did something unusual. It ciphered on that day. It just carried on playing when it shouldn't. And I thought, well, I wonder if they rigged that so they could test my stage manner. But so while they fixed the instrument, and it doesn't do that much. It's an incredible instrument. I just talked to the audience, and I just felt really at home here, and then I just had to wait and see if I got the position, and I did, and I was just really over the moon, and that was 10 years ago.
So we're coming up on the centennial of the organ.
Not for me, the organ, right?
Right. The organ centennial. The organ centennial.
Yeah. And for a lot of the park, so it's a big time here.
What does it actually take to do your job? What all goes into it?
A lot. I mean, it's every week there's a new performance. If I'm not here, which is quite rare, or if I'm on tour playing somewhere else, I get somebody else to play. But every program has to be appealing to the audiences. A lot of tourists on a Sunday afternoon who just walk into the park, don't know there's a concert, just sit down. And you have to play music that's very, very appealing in the sense that they can hear a tune or a rhythm that they're going to enjoy, not boring organ music. There's a lot of boring organ music out there. So every week I'm preparing programs. Sometimes I take themes, I'm rehearsing them, I'm constantly learning new repertoire. I time each program every week to make sure that I don't go over the time. And it takes a lot of work, it really does, but I like it. Because
you said in an article in the New York Times that Sunday afternoons in Balboa Park has to, in a way, be entertaining.
Yes.
Right, and that there's nothing wrong with that. The organ has a future if people play what audiences want to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have to tell you, Carol, I have been in this audience where there have been thousands of people screaming, bravo, bravo, bravo. What does that feel like?
It feels great. I mean, it's exciting. There's an electricity. You can never recreate that feeling of live performance than playing a live performance. The nerves before you go on are something that you live with. If you have to be nervous, but the nerves are good. They make you tense, exciting, and when you get out there and providing you play well and everything goes well and you connect, it's like nothing else. It really is magic. And when people enjoy the music that I give, it makes me feel, well, it's worth it,
Right. With all the budget cuts going on, what I'm understanding is that it is possible that the organ pavilion will be on the chopping block. Is there any truth to that?
There's a lot of cuts going on in the city at the moment, and we're all hoping that the powers of be will see that this place carries on and functions through. It's one of the most important parts of Balboa Park.
We're getting ready for our centennial.
Yeah, we're getting ready. It's really the voice of the park, this building. And John Spreckles, when he gave this organ, they gave so much. They gave a community feeling here. It's not just for organ concerts. We use it for graduations, any December nights. The organ is a key part of this park, and a lot of people support it. Even if they haven't been to a concert here, they know it. Their parents have been here, grandparents. Everybody loves this icon of the place. It's a treasure of our city. So let's hope that the people downtown, realize it's very important. I know they're under a lot of stress. I know they have a lot of cuts to go through, and I wouldn't like to be in their job. I mean, times are really hard, but the culture of our city is really important.
One of the things that strikes me oftentimes in governments all over is that somehow in the equation that the arts are not figured in as importantly as math, let's say, or science or whatever. And it really is all interrelated. I mean, Isn't that true?
It is. Maths and music are supposed to go together. They didn't for me. For some reason, I was pathetic at maths. But culture is important. You look at New York, you associate New York, London, Paris, culture. You know, that's...
Well, what makes a city is its culture.
People come to San Diego. I mean, it's not just for the weather. I mean, they could go anywhere for weather. They come here because of the park, because of the things to do, the museums, you know, the Shakespeare Society here, the Globe, and there's so much to do here. Culture is very important.
It would be kind of To Kill a Mockingbird, wouldn't it?
It would be. It certainly would.
This is a very special place to you. October 20th, 2007?
Yes.
Is that a special day?
Oh, yes.
What happened here?
We got married here.
Oh, you were married here? Oh, I thought I read that. Yeah. Tell me about that day.
It was a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I mean, we decided that because the Organ Pavilion is such an important part of our life, that we would get married here. And I actually had my 3 predecessors play at the ceremony, and it was an incredible day. I mean, and a lot of people came from the city just to see the event. It's
a glorious place to get married.
It's a wonderful place to get married. It really is. You know, you're probably going to get good weather, so everything works out well.
How often does the organ come out?
Well, it's out every Sunday afternoon for a concert. We've been doing a 5th grade program in the park, which happens on Fridays. It comes out for rehearsals, but pretty much a lot of rehearsing is done behind the door.
Oh, behind the door.
Which I play a lot behind the door, but I play very quietly because you could lose your hearing if you played that organ to full power behind that door. It's like nothing else when you're playing full organ.
Sure.
So, but you want to take a look
at the organ? Really? I would love to take a look. Oh my gosh.
You want to play it?
It's my dream.
It's your dream?
Yes.
Oh, well, we're going to fulfill that.
Oh my gosh.
In here is where I rehearse, and it's pretty dark in here, but I do a lot of work here. Yes. Here's a padlock. And a little red light comes on to know the danger, the organ is on, all right? And it makes a noise when it goes on. The console is new, and we inaugurated this on January the 2nd this year. But the building faces north. That was a very clever thing of this building. So rarely do we get bad weather coming here at the Organ Pavilion. So very rare. I've only cancelled one concert here, and that was in 2003 when we had those really bad fires. When the whole city... I remember walking into the park that day, and it was just quiet. You always notice the birds. I noticed the birds, a lot here. But that day, the birds had gone. Everything was gone, and the sky was black. And we cancelled the Sunday performance because it was snowing, that sort of ash. And we even got complaints for cancelling a Sunday program because people come into town, they want to hear the organ, but it would have been devastating because the organ sucks in air. So it would have sucked in the ash and probably done a huge amount of damage.
Symbol? You've got some fans here.
3, 4.